eating disorders, a silent but deadly killer of boys, girls, men, and women across the world. While it is an illness that might not be clearly seen, the struggle with food is a fate many cannot escape. Many people have some knowledge about more common eating disorders, such as anorexia nervosa, where a person has a negative body image, resulting in eating less and less food, or purposely starving themselves to lose weight. To them, their self-worth is just a number, and no matter how much that number goes down, it will never be enough. Another eating disorder most have heard of is bulimia, where a person intentionally throws up food after eating in order to not gain weight. Many people with this disorder tend to binge eat, meaning they eat large amounts of food in a small time due to starvation and then throw it up. However, today we won't be talking about eating disorders such as these. We will be talking about avoidant restrictive food intake disorder, or ARFID for short. ARFID is an eating disorder that not many have heard of, but many might have. Because it is not due to negative self-image, nor is it an eating disorder where the individual purposely loses weight, it is much lesser known. The awareness of ARFID is limited and the research regarding it is fairly new, but the dangers are great. To begin, it must be clear that ARFID is not driven by the fear of gaining weight, nor the motive of body image. In fact, this disorder's primary cause starts early in childhood. Evelyn Attia, MD, June 2020, avoidant restrictive eating disorder. Many children can be considered picky eaters. They don't want to eat applesauce because of the texture, or fish because they don't like the smell. Most children grow out of this phase. By preteen years, the pickiness goes away and all is good. However, some children will never grow out of this, and that is where ARFID starts. For those with this disorder, their palate will always be limited. Almost all foods will grow to be avoided. This person will never be one to eat a lot of food. They'll always have a hard time consuming enough calories. In the worst cases, the body will go into starvation mode, which is what happened to me. In my case, I started out how everyone with this disorder does, simply being a child who hates food and will only eat pasta and fish sticks. My parents thought that I would eventually grow out of it, and like all with this disease, I never did. Most of my life, I never ate a lot, but it was enough for my body to function normally, until sophomore year of high school hit, and I was losing weight faster than I could keep up with. I started to eat so little calories in a day that my body entered starvation, meaning that any calories I did intake, my body had to work harder to conserve them as much as possible. This is what causes the physical symptoms of all eating disorders, including ARFID. Most common symptoms are dizziness, fainting, constantly feeling tired, trouble sleeping, feeling weak, impaired immune system. When you get sick, it's harder to recover, anemia, slow heart rate, and many more. This is all due to the fact that your body does not get nearly enough nutrients to function properly, and so things start to shut down. I personally have many of these symptoms, and it affects my physical wellness every day of my life. Because of my eating disorder, I've been diagnosed with anemia, low blood sugar, low blood pressure, vasovagal syndrome, and POTS, all illnesses that go hand in hand with eating disorders. So why don't people just eat more if they're experiencing all these awful symptoms? Well, for those with ARFID, the body becomes trained to have a distaste for food. Over time, you develop such a small to almost no appetite, and such an aversion to food both physically and mentally. It isn't as simple as just eating, because eating becomes a struggle. It is too hard for many to try. The first thing you'll experience after such a long time without getting the proper amount of calories is a lack of appetite and little distaste in food. People with this disorder no longer get hungry. Their body literally has been conditioned to need less food. For some, even looking at food can turn them away from hunger. They might feel the slightest bit of hunger, but as soon as food is put in front of them, the urge to eat goes away. Next comes the physical reaction to food. Many people complain about an upset stomach both before and after eating. This is because those with ARFID have developed psychological restraints that create a physical response in the body at the sight of food. It might be nausea, the stomach might twist and turn at the sight of a meal in front of you. You might get anxiety and start to shake and tap your foot. You might feel trapped knowing there's food in front of you just waiting to be eaten. If you make it past this level, now you have to deal with the after effects. After eating, your stomach is used to so little calories that even the smallest amount of food will cause you to instantly be full. Whether it's cramps or the immediate feeling you have to use the bathroom, this becomes a vicious cycle of feeling sick because you don't eat and feeling sick because you just ate. One might never escape this pattern, and so ARFID will continue through a lifetime. Although it may not be well known, avoidant restrictive food intake disorder can harm the lives of many.
Yay!